Hello everyone, my name is Masha and today I'm going to show you how to attach string to make a bracelet on a charm. So as you can see, I've got two bracelets here, one with a sort of hexagon shape and one with an infinity symbol, and in both of these bracelets I've attached string to the sides of the charm and I've made two bracelets on either side, centering the charm into the bracelet. I think this looks really cool, gives your bracelet a unique look, sort of makes it look professional, I might say, but at the same time being very simplistic and easy to make. Now, I do think that a beginner could make this. This is not a difficult technique at all. However, I don't recommend you do this as your first bracelet. If you've never made bracelets before, I highly recommend that you start by making the chevron, which is what we did here, and I do have a detailed tutorial on that, and I'll leave that in the card and in the description. But that said, let's head right into the video. So if you've been following me for a while, you may remember that a while ago, a company called BEEBEECRAFT sent me a bunch of these different charms. And if you want to watch the full video of me unboxing and talking about all the stuff that they sent me, I'll leave the link to that in the card and in the description. But today we're going to be using these guys, and we're going to be creating a bracelet onto them. So there's a bunch of different infinity symbols here. You've got a sort of black, silver, bronze, and gold. And all of this was also sent to me by BEEBEECRAFT. I'm going to go for this color combination for the infinity symbol, and I think the gold goes pretty well with it, but I'm sort of in the mood for a silver. So I think I'm going to end up using this one. So I'll put these off to the side. And I also want to try and make a bracelet onto one of these with this color combination. So I'm just going to be making chevrons today to keep it simple, but you could also do other patterns with this technique. So let's start with this hexagon. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be attaching some string onto this side and some string onto this side of the hexagon and making bracelets on either side like so. I want this to be in the middle, so I want both sides to be the same length. I want to make a chevron with two colors, but I also want to double the colors to make the stripes of the chevron thicker. So since I want the colors to be doubled to thicken the stripes of the chevron, I'm going to cut two strings of this color and two strings of the other color. And since we're going to be doing two different halves to this bracelet, one half being attached to one side of the hexagon and the other to the other side, we're only going to be cutting the strings to be about 80 centimeters long. So I've cut my strings and I'm now going to attach them onto the hexagon. So taking the first color, we're going to do a lark's head knot onto the hexagon. If you don't know how to make basic knots, I have an in-depth tutorial on that, which will be linked, but I'll also show you now. So you fold the string in half, which I've already done. You take the loop at the top of the string, you put it inside the hexagon or whatever you want to attach your string to, pull it through a little bit, and then through this loop you put your fingers and you grab the ends of the other string, pulling it through the loop. And then you tighten your string, and there you go, your string is attached to the hexagon. So for the chevron, I need two strings of one color, then four strings of the other color, and then two strings of the first color again. So I'm going to take the second color, and I'm once again going to do the lark's head knot. I've folded these strings in half. I'm going to put the loop through the hexagon, pull it out, put my fingers into the loop, grab the string, and pull it through the loop, and then tightening it. I take the next string of the same color, I fold it in half, I put the loop through the hexagon, pull it through a little bit, put my fingers into the loop, grab the string, and pull it out. And then I tighten it. And then once again with the last color, you fold your string in half, put the loop through the hexagon, put your fingers into the loop, grab the string and pull it out. And here you can see that I've attached all of my strings to the hexagon. And you can also see exactly why I did only two colors, because the hexagon isn't that wide, so the bracelet is going to be pretty thin. And I've already maxed out the amount of strings that I can have here. So because when you do the lark's head knot, you have to do the loop, all the strings are doubled. So you have to have an even number of strings per color. Not only that, but the strings have to be together. I have two dark blue, two light blue, two light blue, two dark blue strings together. Now, even if you have an even number of strings per color, if your pattern requires your strings to be apart, it might be a little bit tricky to arrange your strings. But you could just do a little bit of switcheroo once you've already attached your strings. So if your pattern calls for like a dark blue, light blue, dark blue, light blue, you could just switch your strings around and then do your knots very carefully to make sure that they're positioned correctly. Thankfully, in my case, my pattern does actually call for the strings to be together in pairs. Alright, so I do have a little bit of white string attached here, but that's just so I can easier tape down my string to the table. And here I've got all my strings arranged, so I can just start knotting. So as I said, I'm going to be doing a chevron, but you can do whatever pattern you would like, just as long as you arrange your strings in the order that you'll need them in the pattern. But since I am doing a chevron, I thought I might as well show you a little bit of how I'm going to start it. So, got the dark blue strings on the side. We've got dark blue, light blue, two light blue, dark blue. I'm going to start in the center by making a forward knot. And then I'm going to take these guys, the two dark blue strings that are closer to the center, and I'm going to do a chevron into the center. So forward knots on this side onto the light blue strings, and backward knots on this side onto the light blue strings as well. And then in the center we connect the two dark blue strings. And from this point you can start making a chevron as you would with any other chevron, so taking the outermost string and doing forward knots and backward knots into the center of the bracelet. Now, as I said, I do have an in-depth tutorial specifically on the chevron, which is why I'm not showing you in detail here. If you want to see that, that'll be linked in the card and in the description. But for right now, I'm just going to continue making this bracelet. And there you go, I finished the chevron for the first half of the bracelet, and I did a beautiful little triangle end and a twisted tie for this side. And I do have tutorials for both of those available, linked in the description as always. So I usually make my bracelets around 14 centimeters long, as that tends to be sort of the average length that people need. And the actual hexagon itself is about 1 centimeter. So I made the chevron to be just over 6 centimeters long. So then when you double it, it's gonna come out to about 14-15 centimeters. Now, of course, if you need it longer or shorter, you can adjust your length accordingly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the exact same thing I did here, but just on this side. Again, cutting the same amount of strings, arranging them the same exact way, and doing exactly the same thing. So I'll see you once I'm done. And there you have it. The bracelet is now finished. I really love this. I think it looks really, really cute. It's very simple, very minimalistic. I do believe that a beginner could make this, and I genuinely think that it makes it look really, really awesome. I think it gives a sort of professional vibe to it. Now, if you want to give a more professional vibe to it, you could attach a crimp end. Now, I would go with a silver to match this. I could have, instead of doing triangle ends and twisted ties, attached a crimp to either side of the bracelet, like so, and then on the other side as well, making them clasp together in a more sort of professional way. I chose not to do that this time, but if you want to do that, I do have a tutorial on how to attach crimp ends on my channel, which, as with everything else, will be linked in the card and in the description. Alright, so now I want to get into doing the same thing, but with the pink. So this one I did with blue and light blue. Here I want to do pink and a light pink as well. And as I showed you previously, I've got this sort of infinity charm here. Now, the technique is pretty much exactly the same as we did here. I'm also going to be doing a chevron, as I did here. And as I also mentioned previously, you can do whatever pattern you would like, as long as you position your strings correctly. Now here, since the basic technique is the same, I'm not going to go into extreme detail, but I just wanted to do this to demonstrate that there are many different charms and many different ways that you can do the same thing. So, 2 colors. I'm gonna do the same thing as last time, 2 strings of each color, about 80 centimeters long. There we go, so I've cut all my strings, but before I attach them to the charm, I want to go into a little bit more detail on the lark's head knot. So with this charm, it didn't really make much of a difference which side the bracelet's gonna be on, because the charm is pretty much identical on both sides. And plus with the chevron, really, it doesn't really matter anyway, because the chevron looks pretty good on both sides. I personally prefer this side, but not everybody can tell the difference anyway. But I wanted to showcase this and highlight that you can control which side the knots appear on. So looking closely here, you can see that there are a couple of knots here that are sort of horizontal, or if you look at this, then they're vertical. These are the knots of the lark's head knot, and then on this side, none of them appear. Let me do the same thing here so I can demonstrate what I mean. And same as last time, I'm going to do a lark's head knot, but I want the knot to appear on this side. So I'm going to flip it, I'm going to insert my loop in here, and then put my fingers through the loop and pull out this string. And then tighten it. And then as I tighten it, you can see that there's no knot on this side, but if you turn it around, there is a tiny little knot here. And that's what I want. I want my knots to be on the front side. that's a personal preference. I like my knots to be on the front. If you don't like it, you can switch it up and start from this end, and then your knots will be on the back. So basically what I'm saying, let me just show you this one more time. Since I want my knot to appear on this side, I'm going to turn it around and insert my loop from this side. Then I'm going to grab the strings, pull them through the loop, and tighten the strings. And then because I did that, both of the knots are on this side. So yeah, that's all I wanted to demonstrate. I'm gonna go in and make this bracelet now, and I'll catch up with you once I'm done with it. And there you go. This is the bracelet finished. I love this. I think it turned out really, really cute. The infinity charm makes it look really special, and it is a sort of very simplistic and like minimalistic bracelet. But there you have it. There's the two bracelets that I created. It's pretty much the same technique. I just wanted to show that there's a variety of different charms and stuff that you can use. If you want to use these specific charms, as I said, this is by a company called BEEBEECRAFT, who sent me these for free, and I'll leave them linked in the description for you to check out as well. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you ever make anything based on this video, I would love to see your guys' creations on Instagram, so tag me in a post that you make. And I want to give a special shout out to my patrons, but especially my top supporters, who are Jane, Zoe, Tia, Nicole, and Izzy. Thank you guys very much for your support. I really do appreciate it. If you guys also want to become a patron, there is a link in the description where you can sign up and receive exclusive perks for your donations. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I definitely enjoyed it. I've never done charms before, so this was very interesting for me to try. And I think I'll be doing this more in the future. It was very fun. I post videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and sometimes I also post bonus videos, so keep your eyes out for that, and I will see you next time. Bye!